Blog Talk Radio.
What's up, everybody? I know what you're saying. What's up with this song? Old. What the hell's going on tonight? Well, I have a treat for you guys tonight. Not only do I have Adrian Patrick on the show, I have my buddy Ryan on the show, who is I guess you would call him a pickup artist. You know, kind of like that show with that guy Mystery. So he's going to be on the show tonight, and he's going to talk to us a little bit about what that all entails and what goes into it, and, you know, that whole entire subculture. And hopefully you guys will call in and you know, participate and ask a few questions, and, you know, it'll be pretty interesting. So he'll be calling in a little while, and we're going to interview him, and we're going to have a couple of laughs. Also, before I get on to that, I'd like to, anyway, we're going to go ahead and go to the phone here, and we're going to get Ryan on. All right? Here we go. So as you guys can hear, we have Mr. Ryan on the phone here, and he's going to go ahead and break down for us the whole subculture of the pickup artist, and what he does and what him and his buddies do when they're out gaming for hotties. It's a pretty interesting subject. He's talked to me about it several times, and I deemed it totally worthy to come onto the show and for us to discuss it. I mean, he's a pretty funny and interesting dude.
Here we go, bro. I got it.
So what's going on, Ryan? Let's start at the beginning here. I mean, who are you guys, and you know, what's your deal?
All right, man. Well, everyone out there, Radio Land, this is Ryan Jaunzemis. I'm a personal success and dating coach, and here with my buddy Charles Starr, author of The Secret to the Game, and I know Bobby's invited us on the show to talk about our self-improvement group that we've been organizing and what it's all about. Well, basically, our mission is in raising awareness and helping ordinary men transform themselves into becoming the embodiment of the type of man who naturally attracts beautiful women.
Interesting. So that means you guys have, you know, like a meetup group or something like that, and you guys all get together and you learn from each other how to, you know, pick up on women in a successful way.
Yeah, pretty much it. See,
Interesting.
it's really about, like I was talking about raising awareness. In a way, it's like, I guess like the best way to explain it would be, say people make $50,000 a year, right? Now,
right.
They don't make $50,000 a year because they're stuck, you know, because they want to make $50,000 a year. They make that because they are unaware of how to make $50,000 a month. Like, probably if you made $50,000 a month, would you ever go back to $50,000 a year?
Oh, of course not.
See,
no way.
It's kind of like now, it's with the same thing with women. See, if you didn't know what women respond to, then you might beat your head against the wall over and over, and then, you know, you'd never even know why you're getting the results that you're getting. But and if you, the man that responds to a woman the way society has conditioned him to do so, like giving her the flowers, the chocolates, the compliments, and, you know, he's never going to get the results with women he wants, because even though women say they love these things, what women say they want and what they respond to are two completely different things.
Interesting. Very interesting. So how did you get involved in all this? What made you decide to pursue this in more of a more than just a hobby, I guess you would say, and make it more of a passion, I guess?
Man, it just kind of came over time. Basically, I guess I could go back into the whole story behind it. You know, like, I guess back in the day, I never was really like, you know, the ladies' man. I always wanted to be, but I guess I didn't really believe in myself. And then I think everyone was trying to delegate reality to me, you know. And I was such a nice guy, I guess I was taking everyone's shit. And then being raised in a religious family, I just had you know, like these irrelevant morals installed in my programming. And anyway, but I was married for 10 years, and after this messy divorce, I ended up in Vegas just alone. I was depressed. I tried to go out night after night in the club, make friends, and build a life for myself here. But, you know, every time I went out, I tried to start a conversation with strangers, and I didn't really, like, know what I was doing. I was kind of socially retarded, actually, you know. But, you know, I'd stand there like a tool holding my beer in the club, like, you know, waiting for something magical to happen, you know, hoping the hot girl would walk up to me and just, like, start making out with me. It got bad. Are you still there, bud?
Oh, yeah, I'm here.
seems like it's cutting out a little bit. Anyway, but I kept thinking in my head, like, why doesn't she talk to me? Maybe if I buy her a drink, she'll talk to me, or, but then that wouldn't even happen because I'd have too much social anxiety to even approach her. And, I try to go up and, like, tell her how pretty she was. She would just say thanks, roll her eyes, and then she'd take the drink and leave. I'm thinking, like, whoa, what am I doing wrong? Like, I'm thinking in my mind as a guy, if a hot girl comes up to me in the club, buys me a drink, and tells me how good looking I am, then, I'm like, yes. But anyway, I kept thinking to myself, maybe I guess she's just stuck up or something. Like, I placed the blame on her, and then I go home at night, it's just totally miserable. Bobby, I actually used to throw quarters into, like, the mall fountain, hoping, like, my dream girl would, like, magically manifest. Basically, I think all our minds, have been kind of poisoned by these Disney movies that we were spoon-fed as children. We grew up in, like, believing in fairy tales, or the types of guys that are in this group are, maybe raised by single mothers where they're looking as a child to the mother, the female in the family who's, like, the authoritarian, and I think it creates a psychological imprint. And when you get older, you begin to start following women around like it's the thing to do. But when a man follows a woman, the woman is never going to follow a man who's not leading, right?
Yeah, for sure. So what you're kind of saying is that if in the subculture which you guys reside in, you believe that it's people are socially programmed to be a certain way with women, and women expect that sort of behavior and sort of take advantage of it.
Oh yeah. Whereas, when you say it like that, she's almost expecting to come from the paradigm of she's the hot girl. In her reality, it's like men respond to me, men do whatever I want. You need my validation, attention, affection, and approval. You need sex from me. But when you become the one man that won't take her shit, that will come to her on the equal playing field, then she starts to say, why isn't this guy responding to me like all these other guys? How come I can't control this guy? And it's kind of weird that she'll have this compelling urge to just jump in bed with me to get me to fall under her. What's the word I'm looking for? Under her. It's a really amazing phenomenon.
It sounds like a very interesting theory you guys have working there. So my next question is, what is the biggest mistake you think that most guys make when they're pursuing women?
Oh, wow. Let's see. The biggest mistake, most likely telegraphing a little too much interest in the woman. But you'll notice men just naturally not being real men. They'll exude needy behavior. They'll follow the woman around like a puppy dog. There won't be a challenge. Anytime the woman asks that opening question that they always do about, like, what do? They begin to overqualify themselves like they're a damn salesman. It's actually ridiculous. And then that reacting behavior lets her know, like, oh, you are just the next guy. I now have your validation. I will write you off, and I will move on to a more challenging male.
So I got you. So what you're saying is they don't want, they might act like they want everything given to them, spoon-fed to them, but in reality what they really want is a challenge, just like most men.
Yeah, I would say so.
Interesting. What about women? Do you guys offer advice to women as well for them to improve their dating habits?
We do, but it's on a different standpoint. See, we found that a woman's attraction circuitry is based off of a man's social status, his social value, or his behavioral cues. The man's attraction circuitry is based off the woman's physicality, as in her hair color, her eye color, facial symmetry, hips-to-waist ratio, pretty much all of that. So you ever hear, that saying, blondes have more fun? And you wonder, the brunette girl, she'll always get jealous of the blonde with the big tits. Isn't it kind of funny that, the brunette, the brown hair, it might be the dominant gene, and blonde may be the recessive gene, but blonde hair actually signals higher fertility. So, and because we are evolutionarily designed for survival and replication, subconsciously, we as men are looking for the mate with the highest statistical probability of bearing offspring, right? So, in turn, to have the best chance of survival and replication, the woman is looking for the highest value male to provide and protect for the young so that they can grow up safely to maturity and then repeat the cycle of life. Whereas the woman is, where the man is looking for the hottest girl so he can make sure that the young will grow up good looking enough to attract mates and again repeat the cycle of life.
So you guys have like completely broken down on like a scientific level.
Yeah. It's because if I could actually break it down, I would say something to the extent of whether you know it or not, the attraction happens in a series of natural phases, and whether you know it or not, these natural phases take place. Now, if you know the objective to reach from phase to phase to phase, you can get through these objectives very efficiently and virtually choose any woman you want. You can go into any public gathering, whether she's taken or not, whether she's married or not, and systematically trigger attraction. It's almost like magic. It's almost like a superpower. And not only would she not say no to you, but she would never want to. And I know this process works because I have a girlfriend. I got her by sticking to this method. And if you're listening, Michelle, I love you, baby, and I can't wait for camping this weekend. And, it's an amazing thing. A lot of guys, I would say, don't need this. I mean, if you're the guy that's, like, having success with women, then you don't need this stuff. But if you're a guy that's, kind of having trouble in your love life, and you seem to be going home every night and wondering why and beating your head against the wall, then it might be something you want to take a look at.
Well, we'll play off that point for a second, and obviously, is there a way that people can contact you guys and get involved in this? People that are looking for, like you said, that little extra boost in their dating life, what they don't have now. Maybe they'll be able to find what they're looking for by, coming and working with you guys. Do you guys have like a website or something like that?
Oh yeah. Well, you can, if you want, you can shoot me an email, guys. That's ryan.jaunzemis@yahoo.com, or you can check out the website, which is www.meetup.com, MEETUP, and that's /Las Vegas Lair, LASVEGAS LAIR. Or you can contact Christian S. Valentino, who's one of my infield coaches at haveherwantingyou.com. Actually, he has a free video presentation online that you guys can check out. You just have to put in your name and email, and you will receive that immediately. Or you can contact Charles Starr at thesecrettothegame.com, and we're just here to help, guys. Since we kind of have this down to a science now, pretty much. I started this group because to move from a student to a master, I believe you must become a teacher. And since I've received success myself, I'm now here to pass on that knowledge to the next man.
All right. Well, while I have you guys on the phone, how about you guys share a couple of secrets with us about, like, where are the hot spots for single guys to go and pick up ladies, and where have you guys experienced success working your method?
You know what? Really, you just have to be ready anytime, anywhere to meet beautiful women. It doesn't matter if it's at a grocery store or it's at a bar or it's on the street. A lot of guys, we call it here in Vegas, a lot of guys go out to the clubs and they try to meet women in the clubs. But you'll notice on the Strip, everyone's a tourist, and we call this falling into the tourist trap. You may run routines and gambits and put in all this work, basically, into trying to trigger attraction in this woman, but if you don't close it that night, you are going to go home and just end up being Facebook friends, and that's not what we're trying to do, right?
So the object is to close it as soon as possible and make sure that you move out of the friend zone right away. Exactly,
Bobby. Actually, if we have a rule in this community where we try to make it should take you roughly 4 to 10 hours to successfully bring a woman into your life, from the initial eye contact all the way to beginning that sexual relationship. I don't mean 7 hours in one night. That could be accumulated over 30 minutes at the bar, 30 minutes on the phone, 2 hours going on a hike to Red Rock, and that accumulation of that time altogether. But if you do it too soon, we call it buyer's remorse, and we don't call that playing solid games. Okay? You ever get that feeling where you go out and buy that new car and you realize, oh shit, I didn't even pay the rent or the groceries yet?
Oh yeah.
Well, on the other end of that spectrum, you risk going into the friend zone if you start passing over 10 to 12 hours because she's sitting there waiting for you to make it happen, and if you don't do it, you're going to be stuck, and it's going to be a lot harder for you to jump over that line from friends to a lover.
What are some of the signs you look for to know that a girl is interested in you?
You know what? Right away, we teach the guys a lot of stuff about indicators of interest. Right away, as soon as I open a conversation with a woman, I'm going to try to break the physical barrier as soon as I can. I want to test her level of compliance to me and her emotional level in the interaction. I'm looking for her to toss her hair. I'm looking for her to scratch her arm, scratch the top of her hand. All these are evolutionarily designed in the woman to demonstrate that she has a willingness to be groomed. So I'm looking for all of these subtle signals. In the bar, I might be looking for her to start playing with her straw or fondle her glass. She'll begin to laugh at jokes even if they're not funny. All this stuff kind of goes into it, and once you become calibrated in the behavior to look for all these subtle cues, and actually you get to the point of it burned onto your autonomic nervous system, we call this a level of unconscious competence, where you can go into any interaction, begin running your routines with the woman and just kind of know exactly what to do from step to step to step. A lot of guys are kind of like swimming through life blind. They may go out and they get a number, but they have nowhere to go with it. For example, if I'm in a grocery store, let's take a typical guy in a grocery store who is walking around, sees a beautiful woman. Most likely he won't even approach. He'll backwards rationalize and say, oh, it's not socially acceptable for me to do this. Or you get the rare guy that does approach, and he says, can I get your number? I'll take you out for a drink sometime. The two problems I see here is, one, that's really unoriginal, and two, she's already out. Why instead would not the man take her from the cereal aisle or wherever he's opened the conversation right there to the Starbucks inside of the store or the deli, and he could sit down, have a cup of coffee, and begin demonstrating his value to the woman right there on the spot. I look at the phone number as more of a receipt. Now, because if you don't build enough attraction, a woman's going to give you a phone number, but when you call her back, she says, I don't even know this guy, right?
So the object is to pretty much get an instant date right there on the spot.
That's what we do.
Very interesting.
But and the thing is that if a guy didn't know that he was allowed to do that, he wouldn't even try. Whereas we might run a seminar and say, this is the best systematic way to go about it. In fact, at Albertsons store 29 and 34, you'll notice that there's a Jamba Juice, a Starbucks, a deli, and a pizza place inside the store. So when you look at the logistics of the situation, I can move the girl from the fruit aisle right there to the deli, get a sandwich and a coffee, and then tell her, Tuesday, we're having a barbecue in my house. Why don't you come hang out? We might need a wild card. What's the best way I can get in contact with you? Boom. And now I have a number. I have the receipt for the time she's going to meet up again to that comfort-building environment. I can then demonstrate value and hopefully take that to an isolation location, close the deal, and bring that woman into my life. It's not really about running through girls. It's not about being a player. It's about having the skill set to say, when I walk in the bar, I see the one woman that I want to go home with, and now that I have the power of choice, I'm the selector. Whereas before, it might have been a woman came up to me and showed interest, and I might have just supplicated to her, or I might have met her through a group of friends. This power allows you to go into any public gathering and choose a woman of your desire.
I think it looks like we have a caller here. I'm going to go to this caller and see what's up. Caller, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Hey, what's going on? Who am I talking to?
I'm talking to Charles Starr.
Charles Starr. How you doing tonight, Charles?
Really good, really good. How's it going?
It's going awesome. It's a very interesting show we have on tap here tonight, huh?
Yes, it is. Yeah, my apologies. I ran a little over on another presentation.
Oh, that's absolutely fine. You know, it happens.
For sure. So where are we at right now? I know I heard Ryan when I jumped on, and there's some wonderful information he was speaking of.
Yeah.
Ryan.
Ryan was
this is my friend and business partner, Charles Starr, who is actually author of The Secret to the Game, and this man is just a plethora of knowledge. He's been in the game about as long as me, and together we've been developing a product to, again, help men be more successful women in dating. Charles, actually, if you could go off on that for about a minute. I like that.
Sure. Well, switching gears here, I can tell you that really the secret to the game in a nutshell is to reach your highest potential and then help other life players do the same. And, all of us have gone through some challenges, and sometimes during this journey we miss certain parts of development. And so we've definitely created an organization of guys who come together and talk about, how to get women, and not just in one way, but in many different ways.
Right. So you guys have like multiple theories on ways to pick up women.
Right. Definitely. So
you teach your students pretty much that if one theory doesn't work, you don't just give up. You jump into the next lesson.
You got to be kind of dynamic. Definitely, there is a process there.
Interesting.
And once you start to understand the process, you can start to see perhaps where some of our game, and I'm using game as just a metaphor for life,
Absolutely.
But some of where our game kind of falls apart, because now we see where we're at in the process, and then we say, oh, man, I've been doing it wrong here at this point in time in the mating and dating dynamic. And so now with newfound knowledge, you get certain skill sets to say, okay, this if I just apply the skill here, it's going to take me to the next step. It's going to escalate that particular interaction with that person. Okay? So this is some of the things that we teach, and I'm sure now Ryan has talked about some of those methods. I focus particularly on the secret. And then I kind of, Ryan being my partner, he focuses on the game. So it's a good pair of, it's a good business relationship there.
Yeah, you got yourself the fullback and the running back here, I guess.
Right. So some of the, and I'm trying to look at, as I'm switching gears here, I'm bringing up just a couple of notes for myself. You can hear some of the commotion in the background. But the one thing that I really wanted to share with, let me move. What's that? One thing that I wanted to share before I may have to jump off really quick. I'm running kind of a couple of things here, but a quote, and it's a pretty good quote. I love it. And what I do is there's a science to getting women, and I like to say this one, and it's exact science like algebra or arithmetic, because there are certain laws which govern the process of connecting with beautiful women. Once these laws are learned and obeyed by any man, he will succeed with women with mathematical certainty. And so what we do is we take the higher laws of the universe, okay, and that might sound esoterical to you, but it's really not. And we break those down into creation, so to speak, where something more tangible for people to kind of understand, okay? And so these laws are universal, and that's what makes them powerful. They work for everyone, every time, every minute, and they're omnipresent in every place. And so if you understand them and you know how to apply them, you'll basically get laid with mathematical certainty.
I dig it. So there's a good chance that if people are having a problem with women and they go and hook up with you guys, that they're going to be able to up their chance of success with women?
It's guaranteed.
Oh, yeah.
Guaranteed.
Basically, these guys have been kind of running through life, and their time is running out. What a lot of people don't know is that do you know how many days it takes to live a life?
I don't know the exact number, no.
Basically, you have, according to the U.S. Census Bureau, you have 28,251 days to live this life, and most of these guys are now at, where are we at now, in their 30s, 20s, 30s, 40s, and not really making it happen. They only have so much time left to get this part of their life handled. And really, if this part of their life is not handled, and I quote, nature will unapologetically weed your genes out of existence. So at this point, these guys may not have a choice. See, if they're not getting the type of success with women that they want, then they are actually risking genetic suicide. See, they say if you can't attract a woman, you are by dictionary definition sterile. And when it comes down to it, you can have all the wealth in the world, but if you can't find a mate and procreate, then you are by dictionary definition a genetic failure. And the acquisition of everything you've accomplished in this life is going to vanish out of your vibrational existence, right? So this stuff really goes beyond picking up girls. It goes on beyond the problems in life, beyond world issues, wars, and fighting. People are running all over around with like no clue why they're here on this planet in the first place. So we all come here as creators to create with others, build our lives that we envision in our minds, and we create in our minds our desires, and then we transmute our thoughts into its physical equivalent. And in essence, there's the two purposes, your biological and spiritual. So I come into here to accelerate your life and assist you in handling the biological, while Charles is taking on the spiritual aspect, which together that's why we have created the secret to the game, which will be a mixture of the secret, law of attraction, and the dating game.
Well, I'll tell you what, fellas, this has been a super interesting conversation. Why don't you go ahead and throw me out those websites one more time so the listeners out there can check you guys out in their own time and maybe even, get some tips from you guys.
Okay. I want to throw just a couple of websites out there. The one website that's kind of community-oriented is Facebook.com/The Secret to the Game. Okay, so it's going to be http://Facebook.com/The Secret to the Game. So if anyone's on Facebook, basically look for The Secret to the Game on your pages. There's a lot of helpful information there. And then the product release and the product can be found on http://thesecrettotthegame.com. So just if they remember the secret to the game, and everyone wants to know the secret to the game, type that in, and you'll find our site. We also run a group here in Las Vegas, the Las Vegas Lair. There's a meetup group, so if you're on meetup.com, look for the Las Vegas Lair on meetup.com. You'll see weekly presentations there presented by Ryan and myself.
All right, fellas. Well, it's been, like I said, a really interesting conversation, and I look forward to having you guys on again. You guys have a great week. Thanks a lot.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks a lot, Bobby. We'll talk to you soon.
All right, guys. Take care.
Bye.
Well, there you guys have it. I told you I had some interesting stuff here in the first hour. For now, I'm going to go ahead and take a quick break, and then coming up at the bottom of this hour, beginning of next hour, we're going to talk to Adrian Patrick, the lead singer of Otherwise.